Hello and welcome to my live for today. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Well, as you know, there are a lot of videos on waivers in immigration law because not everybody's perfect, okay? And today I'd like to talk about, in more detail, about a criminal waiver, but specifically in regards to when a crime's older than 15 years. Okay? And what's required and what can be done. Because I have a lot of times people will say, I did something when I was 18, young and dumb, and I just applied for something, they denied it, and it was so many years ago. What do I do? So I will go into some detail on that. And then what I'll do, as you all know, or for those who don't know, I will go scroll back to all the people that joined, and I will see if anybody has any questions, okay? So sometimes when I'm doing this, there's not very many questions at the beginning, and then when people see I start answering questions, the questions just flood in, and then of course I have to leave at a certain point, and I don't get to quite a few at the end. So just so you know, if you want more chance of me answering your question, ask it sooner than later, okay? And I'll get to it, but don't repeat it, okay? I have some people who repeat questions like every 1 minute because they think I'm not going to get to it. Then I have to scroll through and remember that I already answered their questions. All right. Okay. So let's get to it. So a criminal waiver means that you are applying for some kind of immigration benefit, okay? And with the immigration benefit, they have determined that you are inadmissible, okay? And because they've determined you're inadmissible, you're going to need a waiver in order to proceed forward, okay? And what that means is essentially it's a whole package that goes forward. that. Okay, theft, burglary, all the other kinds of crimes like that. So those are the type of crimes that will qualify more or less for this. Now, why is it that it is so much easier to get approved on a crime that's over 15 years old? Well, one reason is because you don't need to have a qualifying relative. And I can't begin to tell you how many people can't even do the waivers normally because they don't have a qualifying relative. And it depends what the crime is, fraud or criminal or whatever. But a qualifying relative essentially means that you have a lawful permanent resident or U.S. citizen of a qualifying nature that they specify, maybe spouse, maybe parent, maybe child, it depends, who will suffer extreme hardship if the waiver's not granted. So minus the fact that that's hard enough to prove by itself. I mean, let's say you have the qualifying relative. Proving the extreme hardship and everything necessary for that is hard enough in and of itself, okay? And then you have to show all kinds of stuff. Economic, emotional, financial, okay, medical, all this stuff. If you don't have such a qualifying relative and you want to apply for the waiver, it'll be kicked out of the door from the very moment you file it. So, this is why, if you have a crime that qualifies that's over 15 years old, and you can apply, qualifying relative doesn't matter. You don't have to prove a thing. You don't have to prove you have a qualifying relative. You don't have to prove that the qualifying relative will suffer hardship if you don't get it. None of that. Okay? So what do you have to prove? So you have to show that you've been rehabilitated. Okay? That's the first big thing. And how do you show that? It's not like you have to show 2 years of rehabilitation classes. If, let's say you had a domestic violence crime, you don't have to show that. You basically, there's different ways of showing it, but one, you don't have any other crimes. Okay? That's a good way of showing rehabilitation. If the crime is over 15 years old and you can show you've had no crime since then, that is a good way of showing you've been rehabilitated. There's other ways, psychological reports from a psychologist, and actually going to rehabilitation classes helps, if you happen to go to it. But that's one thing. And then the other big thing is you're not going to be a national security risk to the U.S. And generally, that's not real hard to prove, okay? If you have a burglary crime and you've been rehabilitated, it's going to be hard to argue that they would argue that you're a national security risk to the U.S. because you stole some gum out of a 7-Eleven, okay? So, I'm exaggerating, but that's the gist of it, okay? So that is, in essence, what needs to be shown. Just those two things, okay? And by those two things, rehabilitation, three things. First, you have to show the crime qualifies, okay? And of course, it has to be 15 years. So when you submit the application, the conviction date has to be 15 years before you submit the application. If it's 14 years, 360 days, it's going to be denied, even if they adjudicate it after the 15th year. So you have to submit it after 15 years, okay? But it happens a lot when people, are young and do things and whatever. So that's it. So you prove the crime, you show the crime qualifies, you show it's been 15 years or more, and then you show you've been rehabilitated and you show you're not a national security risk. And voila, okay? If it's all done right, then you'll be able to move forward, get approved, and get the green card based upon the waiver. And even though I could list all of the different waivers and what's required for a normal waiver versus the criminal waiver, just keep in mind that the burden you have to prove is a lot less with a 15-year-old criminal waiver. The amount of items you have to prove is less, and you certainly will want to do everything you can do. There's cases that I've had where people will submit a regular waiver, get it denied, come back to me, and there'll be 3 more months until the 15 years passes. So I'll tell them, look, first of all, it's going to take my firm a while to prepare everything. So we prepare the waiver, but we don't submit it until after the 15 years, and then we just do a motion to reopen, resubmit with the new waiver, saying they now are eligible for that, and then hopefully everything goes forward. All right. Okay, so that's it. That's the bottom line. So let me scroll back here, see if we have any questions, and then we'll go from there. I hope everybody's doing okay today. All right. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down. Oh, I know it just pinned that if you give me roses, I'll sing. But oh, thanks. I was gonna thank you for the roses. I was gonna tell you that you would not want me to sing. If I were to sing, you would take your roses back. Okay, trust me on that one. But thanks for the roses. Okay, I can do a lot of things, but I cannot sing. And when I do, you think I'm joking when I sing so bad. No joke. Okay, let's see. Okay, sir, is it a right to ask Supplement B form from the police to apply for a U visa? Well, first of all, it depends what state you're in, okay? As part of the U visa, you have to get it certified by the police or a government official that you basically have been a victim of that crime and that you're cooperating, okay? And jurisdictionally, police stations have different things in different states that they require for you to submit in order to get that. Okay? All right. I have a case in New York and I am living in Pennsylvania. Is there a problem? Well, it depends. What case do you have in New York? Is it a criminal case? Is it an immigration case? Are you going already to criminal court? Are you going to immigration court? Okay, I need more facts to know if it's a problem or not. Okay, that's not a question, but it says, Anna Baker says hi, so I'll say hello back. Hi, Anna Bakers. Oh, you just got the #1 gifter badge too. Okay, okay, then you asked that same question about the supplement again. So I need more information, okay? Do you think someone who entered the U.S. illegally can get a pardon if they're married to a citizen? Well, not think. I know they can. Okay, now, one thing people have to keep in mind, sometimes they think, and I find this a lot, I'd say sometimes, but a lot, they think that they fill out the waiver, submit it, and boom, it's in. And then when I get the question, I go, when's it going to be approved? I go, well, there's no guarantee it's going to be approved. They have to adjudicate it. If it was so easy to get something approved, you would just, check the boxes, mark it in, and they'd make sure you check the boxes, and that's that. But it's not. Okay, it's a lot more than that. So first I need to know if the waiver's done properly. But, if they entered illegally and they don't qualify to adjust and they marry a U.S. citizen, okay, then it's a matter of filing a provisional waiver of inadmissibility, ultimately going to the consulate, and then coming back that way. Lily, thank you. You got the #1 gifter badge. Okay, so if you get a 212H waiver and got the green card, can you apply for citizenship? Yes, okay, when you qualify. So the issue that you're asking is, okay, you got a waiver because you committed a crime and then you got the green card. And now it's been 5 years and you want to know if you can become a citizen. And the answer is yes, if it's done properly, okay? They're not going to be able to put you in removal proceedings because you already got the crime waived. And they knew about it, okay? Not to say that in today's day and age they won't try to put you in removal proceedings. But if you're going to apply for citizenship and you got the 212H waived, you can do it. But what I would do if I were you is contact my office. Because when you're doing criminal naturalizations, you have to make very crystal clear you do it properly so you don't end up in the wrong place, which means denied and or removal proceedings. Okay, so the answer is yes, but it has to be done carefully. I'm married to an American citizen, but I overstayed in America when I was younger. Can I get a waiver? Okay, well, I mean, is this the same one that just asked? No, I think it's different. Okay, so there are some cases where you don't even have to get a waiver if you're out of status, if you're married to a U.S. citizen. Did you enter the country legally? I mean, the fact that you overstayed in America indicates to me you entered legally. You just overstayed, meaning that you legally were here for a certain time and then you just didn't leave. So there's an exception where you don't need a waiver. If you enter the country legally and you're not inadmissible on other grounds, you can apply to adjust status with marriage to a U.S. citizen without having to do a waiver. Okay? Call my office. Okay. I have a 10-year... Whoops. Whoa. I was reading it, and then it just scrolled past it. What's the dilly with that? Just a minute. I got to scroll back up to it. Just a second. God, now I can't find... Just a minute. Okay. Oh. Okay. Who sent me that? You gave me a mustache on top of my mustache. I had a double mustache. Okay, there it is. Oh, you know what? I'm getting like beeps, and I forgot to put this on hold. Just a minute. Let me put this on focus. Do not disturb for the next hour. Okay, sorry. See, now we can concentrate and talk to each other without being interrupted. Isn't that better? Okay. I have a 10-year ban from the States. I'm currently married to a U.S. citizen. Can I get a waiver? Okay, and you're not in the U.S. The answer is yes. Okay. I assume you have the 10-year ban because you were here unlawfully for more than a year. So the answer is yes. You don't have to wait for the whole 10 years. You can do the waiver of unlawful presence right now and consulate processing. And if everything goes through, it'll all be approved prior to prior to when it goes through. So that's that. Hey, I got 700 hearts. If anybody wants to be nice, give me some hearts so I can get up to 1,000. All right, Monty got the #1 gifter badge. Now, I'm Alibaba. You keep asking me the same question. You keep asking me about Supplement B form, but again, I need to know what state you're in, and I need to confirm then, the procedures needed for that state. Oh, thanks, everybody. Oh, I got Bubba. Wow, the hearts are flying. Thank you. You guys are so nice. Okay, so if you get a 212H waiver and you already asked this question. Okay, and I answered it. Let's see. Okay, just a minute. Is it safe to do advanced parole now as a TP holder? Absolutely not. No. Nada. Zero. No chance. Do not do it. Okay. If you have TPS, number one, I assume you're not from Venezuela because they're going to disappear. So if you have TPS, if Trump can, he'll get rid of everyone that he can. Okay. So what you need to do is look for another way while you're on TPS, not to get advanced parole, okay, but to try to get the green card. Okay, don't leave the U.S. with TPS, okay? All right. Oh, and thanks again for the roses. Okay. Hi, can I still claim citizenship my father even though I'm never in his custody? That depends. Okay, that depends whether you qualify for derivative citizenship. It depends on the dates the events occurred, because the way that derivative citizenship law works is you have to look at the dates that the events occurred and then look at the law on those dates to see if it qualified. So I'd need to see. Okay, I can tell you that it's likely that you're not, but there might be some ways depending. The Chosen got the #1 gifter badge. Appreciate it. How likely is release on bail if detained with good long-standing record in the U.S.? Well, I mean, that all depends. And you're talking about immigration bail, correct? Because if you're talking about criminal bail, you're going to have to go to another channel and talk to a criminal lawyer. So it depends, okay? On bail, it depends what are you convicted of. Are you under mandatory detention? if you're not under mandatory detention, can you properly show, thanks for the hearts, everyone, can you properly show that you won't be a risk to society, that you won't be a flight risk? You know, there's all kinds of stuff you have to show. And if the judge grants it, the judge grants it, and then you can fight your case on the outside. Okay. Al Hernandez got the number 2 gifter badge, which was just taken over by Gio Cal. Even with DeSantis in Florida making it a new law to enter illegal... Well, okay. Oh, thanks for the roses, Melissa. I got lots of roses today. I'm going to have to start a new garden. Okay, so... Where was I? Oh, okay, first of all, DeSantis is a state governor. He's not a federal governor. He can't make laws magically that say it's illegal to enter the U.S., blah, blah, blah. He can't make new laws that conflict with federal immigration laws, even though he thinks he can. And so it's just a matter, if he does this, of making the suits and showing that he doesn't have the authority as a state governor to try to change federal immigration law. God, I'm tired of saying stuff like that. But that's how it is. So for 4 years, we got to deal with it. Just take... Okay, I feel better. How about you? Okay. You overstayed your B1, B2 for 3 years. Can you seek asylum? Well, the answer is yes, you can seek asylum. The real question is, can you seek asylum and when? So the fact you've been overstayed for 3 years means that you're going to have to first show why didn't you file it within the first year you were here. Okay, that's the first hurdle you have to go over. If you can't properly get over that hurdle, then you are not going to be able to even have a chance at asylum. So I'll exaggerate. Let's say that your father yesterday was killed because of his political opposition to the president of your country. Okay, obviously that's within the last year. You are a dependent of your father. It will be deemed that you believe what he believes and therefore have a good asylum case. Okay, so you do have to get over that 1 year hurdle. How long does it take to get a work permit for the U visa? Forever. Takes a long time. Okay, but if that's the only thing you have, then make it the best U visa you can. Okay, many years. Legal. Okay, this is from Melissa. Oh, you gave me a lot of my roses. Thank you. Legal permanent resident since 1980, convicted in 2011, signed for deportation in 2009, married U.S. citizen since 2001. Well, I assume your ultimate question is, what can you do? In order to know that, I mean, first of all, if you were deported, you're no longer a lawful permanent resident. And if you signed for deportation, that's probably because they told you you're going to stay in detention for 25 years and you have no chance, and you made it easy for them, okay? So first, you're no longer a lawful permanent resident. I need to know if you're inside the U.S. or outside the U.S., okay? You can have a deportation order and be inside the U.S. If that's the case, then it is possible to go 2 paths. You can try to make a motion to reopen for adjustment hearings if you qualify, okay? But the fact that you signed for a deportation as a lawful permanent resident is problematic because it indicates that perhaps you did not qualify for cancellation of removal for lawful permanent residents because the conviction made you an aggravated felon. If you're an aggravated felon, then marrying a U.S. citizen doesn't matter. Okay, and the fact that you've been married since 2001 and you were deported in 2019 all the more makes me believe it was an aggravated felony. So I need to confirm where it is, and then see if any criminal relief is available. Did you plead guilty to it? Okay, were you told that you'd be an aggravated felon, deported for life, no chance of naturalization and all this? It's possible to get criminal relief. Okay, I need to see if you qualify for anything else that even as an aggravated felon, you might be able to get. Or have you been a victim of crime? Okay, you might... thanks for the teddy bear. I'm getting roses and teddy bears today. What a day! You might qualify for the U visa go that way. Have you worked for somebody or some firm for a long period of time but didn't get paid? Okay, is there any issues regarding sex trafficking, work trafficking? You might qualify for the T visa. Are you a witness on a criminal case that you can help the government? You might qualify for an S visa. Okay, all these types of visas will allow you in and ultimately for the green card, even if you're an aggravated felon. Okay? Okay, hi, I entered the USA last year on HHP, which I assume is you're referring to as humanitarian parole. And of course, it scrolled up, and now I lost the question. Just a minute. Oh, I applied for TPS last September, but I haven't gotten approved. Well, first of all, I don't know if you applied properly, okay? And I don't know if you qualify. So what I do in cases like this is first I review what you submitted and determine qualification and whether it's a good, petition or not. All right? Okay. And this is from Ma? Or is it from 17? I don't know what your name is. But you gave the initial set of roses. I appreciate it. What about if married to a U.S. citizen for 2 years? Okay, I don't know. I need more information on your question. Okay, what is your status? How did you enter the country? Okay, I mean, if you're married to a U.S. citizen and you're inside the country, then I will determine if you qualify to adjust, or if you need a waiver plus adjustment, or if you need perhaps a provisional waiver. Okay, maybe a provisional waiver with consulate processing, or I'd have to see maybe you're under 245I. Because if you said Ma on the next one, I don't know if that means your mother petitioned a long time ago. If that's the case, you might get under 245I. Okay, so give my office a call, see what I can do. Are you safe with waiver issued in 94? Well, if you had a waiver issued back then, you've got to have the green card now. If you don't have the green card now, then the waiver's irrelevant. Okay, I need to know why you're asking this. Are you asking because you have the green card and you're afraid they're going to take it away even though you got the waiver? Okay, I also need to see you might qualify for citizenship even with a crime. Okay, that's over 5 years old. Okay, I was a DACA recipient who got in trouble for misdemeanor charges as a teenager. I never followed up. Under immigration law, there's no convictions unless tried as an adult if you're under 18. There's dispositions. There's admitting to crimes, which gets you in trouble. But you might still be able to get DACA even though, this happened. I'd also need to see really, since DACA's on his way out probably, I'd need to see if you qualify for anything else. Oh, yeah. I was trying to look on the top and see what team someone put the baseball hat on, and it said TikTok, so I guess it's everybody's team here. Okay. Well, good morning, Chaka. Okay. After the asylum interview in UCIS, who's making the decision, the asylum officer or the supervisor? Well, the asylum officer makes the decision, and that's the fact. But if it's going to be a denial, okay, which they don't say it's a denial, which is the funniest thing. But if they're not going to approve it, thanks, thanks for the roses again. Wow, look at all those roses! Holy cow! I'm gonna have to make 2 gardens. Thank you. If after the, well, that's the most roses I ever got at one time. I appreciate it. If they're going to be a denial, they pass it to the supervisor to confirm the reason for the denial. Okay, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because I got so many roses today. Okay, if somebody already pled no contest, what goes on in preliminary court? Okay, well, what goes on in the preliminary court, you're talking about the criminal court, I assume, is not relevant here. What is relevant is that no contest for immigration purposes means guilty. I mean, there's no distinction. Okay, guilty. So I'd need to see how it affects your immigration status, and then let you know what needs to go on from there, whether or not there's waivers available or so forth. Okay, I have about a few more minutes before I have to head. for my other appointments today. So again, there's so many questions at the end here. I'll get to what I can and then call it. Okay. How to remove a deportation order when you're an asylum seeker and now have a work permit? Okay, well, that depends. Are you in court again because you're seeking asylum with a prior deportation order? Have you applied to USCIS and have an asylum pending there with the deportation order? How was the deportation order issued? Was it in absentia? And if it was, did you know about it? Why didn't you go? Okay. Lots of questions. I know I didn't answer that. I didn't answer how to do it because I need lots of more information. Please, sir, my legal brief about asylum appeal on April 2024. I'm still waiting for a decision. Well, first of all, if you did the, I'm not saying you can't do it, but honestly, if you pro per did, a legal brief to appeal a denied asylum case in April 2024, first things first, you should get an immigration attorney like myself to supplement it so you have a much better chance of success. The reality is, when an individual applying for asylum tries to appeal it themselves, you would not believe the immense amount of applications that will get denied. That's just a fact. Okay, if you want real help, you got to have someone who knows what they're doing prepare the brief. Okay. Lore got the #1 gifter badge. Okay, married citizen. Okay, you already. Okay. Oh, got a bear. I got bears and roses today. What is meant if the immigration court just dismisses your case? Okay, well, if you're talking about an immigration court, they don't just dismiss. Okay? The BIA does, it's Board of Immigration Appeals, criminal courts do. The immigration court can terminate your case, can administratively close your case. They don't just dismiss your case. So jurisdictionally, I need to know where exactly this occurred and what happened. Okay? All right. Is that corn? Okay. You're making me laugh. Oh my God, all those funny. Okay. All right. Well, I got time for one more question. So let's do it. And I appreciate all the gifts, everyone, all the hearts. It makes my day. Okay. Okay. Galaxy. I wanted to take astronomy when I was in college. I really wanted to, but I couldn't fit it in. Is the Riley Act is a retroactive for DACA? Okay, first of all, I guarantee you right now it's not. Okay, meaning that Kim Rose, thank you very much. Meaning that when they made that, it was very much, as you must know, anti-immigrant. So they're not going to do anything that's going to help you. So if something is being unlawfully retroactively applied, I guarantee you're going to have to bring it to court. You're going to have to fight it in order to say it's an unconstitutional retroactive application. That's how it goes. All right. All right. Well, I think we're all done for today. I appreciate all the questions. Sorry I didn't get to some of them. But you can always call my office, get a consultation, do what you got to do. And for those people who I said I need more information, whatever, give me the information I need and I'll let you know what can be done. All right. Time for my other appointments. So everybody have a good day. Been good live, yeah? All right. Everybody have a good day. Goodbye.